Warm welcome to Horse Talk. And we are going to talk about 3 ways that you can prepare your horse for New Year's Eve, especially if your horse is scared. And my name is Katrina, and I am a horse trainer from Norway. And I'm also educated as horse trainer from Hular College in Iceland. And I'm a riding instructor from Norwegian Equine Center. But I learned the most about horses from going to Mongolia and riding the semi wild horses there, which meant that I definitely experienced how much horses dislike being controlled and how controlling we European riders tend to be when handling and riding our horses. Not necessarily because we are mean and controlling by nature, but probably because that's how we have learned to do it and what kind of intuitively makes sense to us. But it doesn't necessarily make sense to horses who are flight animals and prey animals, and they are always looking for a way out. Which then brings me to New Year's Eve, because that can be quite stressful if you are an owner of a flight animal and then suddenly all your neighbors and the whole town start shooting up fireworks. What to do to be prepared and what can we do to help our horses cope better during this, for some, very stressful evening. So let me know in the comments below if your horse gets scared on New Year's Eve, because there are 3 ways to go about this. And I would say that the first way, which is my favorite, is to actually desensitize our horse and prepare them for New Year's Eve by making them calm in the presence of unexpected sounds, unexpected movement, unexpected touch, and unexpected stuff in general. Because although we cannot simulate New Year's Eve, we can simulate the different components of it, and we can change our horses, instinct from being a flight response to becoming calmer. And this is something that has worked very well for a couple of my horses who tended to be like freaking out on New Year's Eve. They are now calm and confident because I've gone through kind of a desensitizing process with them. So I've familiarized them with sound and movement and unfamiliar ground layer, lots of different stuff. And I made sure that when the horse is calmer, that's when the scary stuff goes away. Because that teaches the horse that being scared and going into flight or freeze or fight mode is not making the scary stuff go away, but actually becoming calmer makes the scary stuff go away. Which also is true because most of the stuff horses are afraid of aren't necessarily dangerous. Yes, so let me know in the comments if you have tried desensitizing your horse and if you had some results from it. I know definitely Kim Deliege, one of Ride Like a Viking members. She had a horse and he would freak out on New Year's Eve every year for 7 years. But after she did the connection exercise and started communicating with the horse through body language on the ground and giving him choices and not controlling him and desensitizing him, he is now the calmest horse in the herd, even on New Year's Eve. So it really can, change a horse's perception because horses are, after all, associative learners. So if they associate scary stuff with flight and fright and freeze mode, that's what they're gonna do. But if they start associating scary stuff with relaxation and calmness and curiosity, that's what they're gonna do. But since they are, initially flight animals and born as such, we need to spend a little bit of time reprogramming them. Yes. which isn't the same as flooding them. By no means. It's desensitization and flooding are two different things. So I actually have a vlog about how you can desensitize your horse without flooding your horse and succeeding with this. And not all horses need to be desensitized, by the way. I might do it with those who need it. I don't do it with horses that don't need it. But I will share the link in the comments below towards the end of this live if you want to check out how you can go about desensitizing your horse. And I wouldn't do that now, by the way, because today is Wednesday, New Year's Eve is on Sunday. So this is a process. So I wouldn't necessarily start doing it now, 4 days before New Year's Eve, and expect your horse to be fine and completely transformed. Then I would probably do something else, which Frauke Musial was mentioning on our latest Ride Like a Viking members Q&A, and she is a professor in psychology. And she has probably read and studied every scientific paper that has been written about horses. And she has a great blog, by the way, which is called The Science for Horse Lovers. And we were discussing this exact topic during our latest live Q&A in Ride Like Viking members. And I was, talking about desensitization and how that has transformed at least the horses I have who have been scared on New Year's Eve. Now they aren't scared anymore. But she said that, we can go about this in another way. And that is something she called masking. And I think it's something many of us do. And it's not something I'm not recommending at all. I think that would be a good way to go. If you haven't desensitized your horse and made your horse braver and more comfortable in potential scary situation, masking is your best friend. And masking is, putting on the radio to mask the sound of the fireworks, blocking out the light from the windows to mask the lights from the fireworks, giving your horses food so that they have something else to think about, all that kind of stuff that makes then New Year's Eve less noisy and less scary for the horses, right? But she also said that to start with the masking, it might be advisable to do it a few days before New Year's Eve, so that your horses is actually used to eating hay with the radio on, and that the curtains that you might be hanging up or whatever you put for the windows is something that the horses are already used to. And you might even then put on CD tapes with the New Year's Eve sounds on while they are eating, so that when New Year's Eve comes, the horse has done the routine already. So they don't go into the state radio on, oh my God, what are these curtains doing here? Something is off, and they, start becoming suspicious. Yes. So let me know in the comments below if you are practicing what would be called masking. Yes. And part of the masking is actually desensitization. If you are putting on CDs with New Year's Eve sounds on, sounds of firework, you are actually desensitizing your horse to fireworks. And that's something that has worked very well with dogs and horses who are afraid on New Year's Eve. Yes, and then the last thing that can be done is to basically change the environment. Yes, bring your horse somewhere there isn't fireworks on New Year's Eve. And it's obviously not going to solve the problem like it did with Kim de Liège's horse, who had been scared on New Year's Eve for 7 years and now is calm. But it is, of course, going to ensure that your horse is calmer on New Year's Eve if he goes to a place where there is no New Year's Eve celebration. Yes, but I would probably do that, a few days or maybe even a couple of weeks before the actual New Year's Eve, because horses can become you know, anxious in new environments and they might need some time to settle in their new environment. Yes, so let me know in the comments below which is your favorite tip for handling New Year's Eve. Yes, is it desensitization? Is it masking? Or is it changing the environment? And let me know what you are going to do this New Year's Eve with your horse. And yes, as promised, if you want to learn more about desensitization of your horse in a way that doesn't flood your horse and doesn't put your horse into freeze mode or shut down mode, then check out the link I'm going to share in the comments below on Facebook. If you are on Instagram, comment yes below and you are going to get the link to the vlog on DM as a little gift for you so that you can do this with your horse, especially if your horse needs it. So, thank you so much for joining this evening, and my best wishes for a happy and peaceful New Year's Eve to you and your horses. Okay, bye for now.